What is the most dangerous thing people don't realize is all that dangerous? Comment 1. Psychological, emotional bullying among siblings. Parents too often label it as sibling rivalry or teasing, thinking it's harmless, but if left unchecked, that stuff can cause lifelong damage. When we're kids, we're forming our identities and our understanding of the world, and all of that can be very easily influenced. Insecurities can turn into mental illnesses, which can wreak havoc on every aspect of our lives. I'm not saying parents should constantly be monitoring their kids' interactions and constantly protecting them from one another, but you need to listen when one of your kids says the other is going too far. If one of your kids starts developing insecurities, you need to help them, and you need to talk to the other one and get him to lay off. Teach them compassion. Teach him to treat others with respect and dignity. Don't worry about it making them weak or soft. It won't. There is strength in kindness. Comment 2. The pin setters in a bowling alley. They are well over 1,000 pounds of mechanized death by steel and moving belts. Some of the scariest moments of my life have been me running, slapping the 6 feet between me and the emergency shut-off behind the front desk as a toddler runs, slipping and sliding, down the lane while their parents or guardians are laughing by the table because they thought it was cute. Even experienced pin setter mechanics have been crushed to death during scheduled maintenance. Pin setters are machines of convenience, entertainment, and death. Comment 3. Passengers should never rest their feet on the dash of the car, because when the airbag does its thing, it has only one way to go. Several terrible things can happen at this point. 1. Your knees get pushed into your face, and I won't paint that picture. Or 2. Your hips are dislocated. Comment 4. Ice. Black ice is extremely dangerous. My grandpa was putting salt down after an ice storm the day after Christmas. My dad was in town visiting and insisted Grandpa stay off the ice. Grandpa fell right in front of my dad, hit his head hard. Woke up once in the hospital when my grandma was by his side, and then passed. When I see those fail videos of people slipping on ice, I cringe. Comment 5. Any high pressure fluid. Honestly, my dad used to be an electrician on a nuclear submarine. The reactors use extremely high pressure steam to move thermal energy around. The pressure is so insanely high that you literally cannot see it if it leaks out of a pipe. If the sensors detected a leak, the way they would search for the leak would be to hold a broom in front of them as they walked around the mechanical systems. They knew they had found the leak when the broom's bristles got spontaneously cut clean off. And hydraulic systems are just as terrifying. If one of the fluid tanks is leaking, it can inject that hydraulic fluid straight into your bloodstream without causing an entry wound. Aside from the obvious danger of having a non-sterilized fluid injected into your blood, hydraulic fluid is highly toxic. Comment 6. Tripping. The human body has weirdly perfect proportions for killing itself from an uncontrolled fall onto a hard surface. Drunken scuffle, friends messing about, navigating a dark apartment, getting in and out of the shower, hurrying up or down stairs. Any of these that result in your head falling from about standing height and hitting the floor or concrete or a rock can very well kill you or somebody else. Lots of people have had their lives ruined by this, as they either caused someone to fall, fell themselves, or had a close family member fall. One bad fall in a drunk fight turns it from a scuffle to manslaughter. Comment 7. My godfather went on a scuba dive trip one year and his wife bought a camera for him. On the beach before the trip he took some photos of a small colorful fish that were swimming close to his legs, even tried to pet them but they stayed away. He went for a dive and developed the images the next day to show to his instructor. These were deadly fish, like the most venomous thing on the island, and his instructor just gulped in disbelief. He had the pictures framed and they are hanging in the living room. It's a great conversation starter, like, you see these fish? There, from that time I almost died. Comment 8. If you set the headrest in your car too low, it can break your neck during a car crash. It shouldn't even be called a headrest. It should be called a head stop. It can act as a wedge during whiplash, breaking your neck on the return swing. The middle of the headrest should be aligned with your ears. This is particularly important for women who often set it too low, so it doesn't cause discomfort when their hair is tied in a ponytail or a bun. Comment 9. This tastes kind of funny. Oh well. Food poisoning can mess you up big time. You can permanently damage your body. If something doesn't taste right, stop eating it immediately. When in doubt, throw it out. Comment 10. Lots of people don't take gun safety seriously. You always assume a gun is loaded, check it yourself when it handed to you, and never ever point a gun at someone whether it's loaded or empty. Comment 11. Untreated mental illness. I had undiagnosed BPD as a young teen, and it almost killed me. Ironically, it wasn't the suicidal ideation that comes with BPD that almost killed me. My mom used to say she was terrified I'd kill myself on accident. It was the pure impulsivity and self-destructiveness that I thought was just part of being a teenager, so I shrugged it off. Which was dangerous. Whether it was taking drugs, self-harming, indulging in an eating disorder, sneaking out at 3 a.m. as a minor to take an Uber, or whatever stupid stuff I was doing. I had no explanation for why I was engaging in this behavior, so I didn't know how to work on it. Sure, you could try tackling one thing at a time, but those efforts are ultimately dwarfed when you're dealing with a personality disorder as a whole. 2 years later in the psych ward, I was diagnosed with BPD. It explained a lot, and I really wish we had caught it sooner. I burned a lot of bridges and lost a lot of relationships. Glad I made it out alive and have a diagnosis now. It's still hard, but at least I have help and know what treatment gets me through life now. Comment 12. Concert venues, nightclubs, and bars, especially if they are packed. If you are having any issues trying to move around during that event, it could be a spell for a disaster. People don't realize how quick things can go wrong, especially in a crowded area. Always have an exit strategy and look for the location of the emergency exits. People tend to leave from where they came in. If the emergency exists are very few and far between or even locked up and the place is packed, do yourself a favor and leave. Incidents like Rhode Island Station Fire and Pulse nightclub are a few examples of how dangerous these places can get. Seriously, have a plan in the back of your mind on how to get out of a packed establishment. It could save your life and the lives of those who you care about.